Well, good morning everyone and welcome to our first Lounge Room webinar series. We're streaming live from Boonah today. And for more information about the upcoming webinars, you can visit our website cofc.com.au for more information. But before we move along, I'm just going to respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which today's webinar is being hosted, but also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands in which everyone's streaming in from today. Now, if we just move along, I'm going to tell you what we've got on today. So, we've got guest speakers here today, McGill from Churches of Christ in Queensland. She's our General Manager and she's going to talk about our integrated senior services at Fassifern Aged Care and our person-centred model of care. We'll also hear from Karrin Auld, who's a Service Manager at Fassifern Aged Care, and she's going to talk specifically about what you need to know before moving into aged care. We'll also take questions from everyone at home. So there's a little phone number that you need to text your messages to just to make it nice and easy. And that number, if you've got a pen and paper, is 0476 418 822. So I'll say that again, it's 0476 418 822. So just text your messages through at any time, and then when we get to the end, we'll ask all the questions. So don't hold back. Right. Now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to McGill. So, over the past 15 years, Anne has led a variety of teams in the aged care sector as community expectations, regulatory standards and staff skill sets and diversity has grown. So she's been part of the Churches of Christ family for the past 7 years and working with her team to focus on delivering care that supports seniors who choose Churches of Christ in Queensland as the community to live their full life. So, I'm going to introduce you to Anne.
Hello, and thank you for welcoming us into your lounge rooms or wherever it is that you are joining us today. This is a momentous time as we are about to welcome residents into our new building, new environment here at Boonah at our residential aged care service. So I wanted to touch briefly on the story about Churches of Christ in Queensland, the organisation behind this, talk a little bit about our model of care and our approach, what informs the way we do the things we do in residential aged care, and then we'll have a brief look through the new building, the new environment. So firstly, a little bit about Churches of Christ in Queensland. It's a movement, a Christ-inspired movement that began about 130 years ago. Our care services commenced back in 1935 and have grown into a family of over 4,000 staff and 1,000 volunteers that are providing services across the length and breadth of Queensland, as well as a small number of services in Melbourne and Victoria. So of our services, as well as 3 service streams, we have a vibrant church community, over 60 churches, including here in the Fassifern Valley. In terms of our direct services, they fall into 3 main streams. So our children, youth and family stream, our affordable and social housing, and our seniors living, which is very much the campus and focus for Boonah today. In terms of our children, youth and families, so we support over 3,000 children, youth and families, particularly families and children and very vulnerable people throughout Queensland. Our affordable housing and social housing accommodates over 3,000 residents throughout Queensland. In terms of our seniors housing, and those of you who've been to Boonah would be familiar with this. So we offer retirement living here in Boonah and in 23 villages throughout Queensland and Melbourne. So 18 here in Queensland and 5 down in Melbourne. From our home and community care services, there are over 12,000 people in Queensland who've taken the opportunity to access care and services through our home and community care team. We offer services including through the government's Home Care Package scheme, the Commonwealth Home Support Program, Veterans Home Care and privately funded services as well. In terms of residential aged care, the Boonah service is one of 32 services that we operate, 30 here in Queensland as far north as Ingham and Cardwell, west to Blackall and south to St George and to the border at Stanthorpe, on the Gold Coast and many places in between, as well as 2 services in Melbourne. So that's our residential care family. So I'd like to move briefly then to talk about the ethos behind the care and approach that we take. And that's our positive wellbeing model of care. We fundamentally believe that in caring for old Australians, our focus should be very much on maintaining and even enhancing people's capabilities and potential, obviously in very close consultation and respecting their wishes, so that our focus isn't just on managing decline. Our work is very much informed by some work done by an English psychogeriatrician, a gentleman, Professor Tom Kitwood, who back in the 1980s and 1990s introduced a concept of person-centred care, which is quite simply treating others as you would want to be treated. Professor Kitwood identified a number of essential basic human and social needs that we all need to get met if we're going to have a sense of positive well-being. So if I move to those 5 essential needs, as well as the fundamental need of love, which is where we very much welcome the support from residents, families and friends to provide that love. The 5 essential needs that he identified, and which are a part of a focus of all that we do, are the needs of comfort, of identity, of occupation, of inclusion and of attachment. And in terms of comfort, it's the things like being warm, being dry, having enough food and drink, being able to have quiet time as you want it, being able to have time to be able to get around and do things. Those are essential elements of comfort. In terms of identity, it's about being valued. To be valued, I need to be understood. So for us, it's about taking the time to understand what's important to a person so that we can seek to meet those needs of identity. In terms of occupation, it's about doing things that are meaningful and gaining a sense of worth. So that very much informs a range of our daily activities and programs. In terms of inclusions, it's a sense of belonging, of knowing that you're missed when you're gone and you're welcomed back when you come back home. So very much being part of a community. And the sense of attachment, feeling part of something and being valued by individuals, someone, and appreciating the things that keep me connected to my communities. So that's the 5 essential needs that are fundamentally underpinning what we do in terms of our care. So let's have a sneak preview at the new building, which is part of our Fassifern Aged Care Service here at Boonah. Perhaps we might have a look at a video, Bree. Yeah. So as you work through that, let me tell you that this is a service that is clearly contemporary and state-of-the-art. It will accommodate up to 64 residents in 4 16-roomed cottages. Churches of Christ has invested over $20 million to bring this to fruition. Each of the residents' rooms is a spacious room with good outlook and a private ensuite, as well as lounge and dining areas and quiet areas. We also have a large indoor area for group and family celebrations and gatherings, and extensive outdoor gardens, both undercover and out in the open and in the sunshine. So I might like to talk as part of the facilities here about the wellbeing component that we focus on as part of our positive wellbeing. So if we start with the first one, that is our seniors gym, which is a new part of our service here at Boonah. It's specifically designed with equipment that is seniors specific for older people. Comes from Finland, from the Helsinki University Research, and it's supervised by our team of allied health leaders, so physiotherapy and occupational therapy teams. So that's our seniors gym. If I then move into the lounge areas, we have, as I said, large extensive indoor areas as well as smaller areas for celebrations and gatherings. We also have, and you will have seen in the video briefly, extensive outdoor gardens and gardening. So for those with a green thumb, the opportunity to plant, to nurture and to harvest from our gardens. And for those who are not green thumbs, the opportunity to sit and enjoy watching others pursuing their pastimes. We also have a hair and beauty salon for both men and women right here at the service here at Boonah. The final thing I'd like to touch on is the frameworks that inform the services that we provide. If I talk about the living life, we've talked about the seniors gym and the range of activities and programs to support people to maintain and grow the potential of the things that are important to them. I talk about our cottage model. We've passionately driving to create a sense of community in the cottages. So the cottage is a home, it's an extended home with its own community within our larger community here at Boonah. Dementia care, we seek to support dementia care for residents with a diagnosis of dementia, but our fundamental approach is that we care for the person first and their diagnosis second, that a person's not defined by their diagnosis. So we're seeking, particularly with residents who have dementia, in partnership with their family and friends to understand their story, their history, their journey, to seek to support them at this time in their journey. We've also built into our design very strong focus around dementia-specific principles, whether that's in colour, whether that's in wayfinding, whether that's in our flooring, whether that's in our sensing, etc. If I talk about palliative care, we feel very privileged to be the part of the journey for people in this precious stage of their lives, both the residents and the families that support them. We also have obviously a very skilled team to support residents and families during this journey. Which brings me to our final fundamental framework, and that is about spiritual care. We have a chaplaincy team that has been and continues to be very active in supporting residents and their families in their life journey, and not just at end of life. But during this stage in their life, people are often looking for support to understand the purpose and the meaning and the worth of the life that they have travelled, and to reconcile issues that might have been in their past life. And our chaplaincy team is absolutely there to support residents and their families on this journey. So that's the key bits that were part of my brief to share with you today. Thank you for that, and I'm looking forward to the next part of this webinar. So back to you, Bree.
Lovely. Well, that was really great. Thanks for sharing with us, Anne. I'm going to just remind everyone at home that you can text your questions, and we will get to them at the end of the presentations today. So that number again is 0476 418 822. So our next speaker I'm going to introduce is Karrin Auld. Now, Karrin has spent 18 years in the healthcare sector, specialising in aged care, and Karrin is well respected for her strong leadership abilities and expert nursing knowledge. She's an advocate for putting residents' needs and wants at the heart of our service and maximising the benefits for their wellbeing and quality of life. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to Karrin.
Hi, and thank you for joining us today. I'm excited to be coming to you live from our communal lounge area in our beautiful new facility that we're just about ready to open next week. So you're wanting to come into aged care, there's a few things you need to be aware of, and you need to bring some specific documentation with you during the conversation that we're just about to have. I'm going to give you some advice on what you need to bring, so a little bit of general information around the financial conversation that you may have with your healthcare provider or with our facility. But it's important to remember that this advice is just general advice, and we do encourage everyone to seek independent law and financial advice before making any major financial decision, because it is a stressful time coming into aged care, and you need to be clear on what your decisions are and the people that you're talking to. So being prepared to come into aged care, there's a few documents that we do encourage you to bring and be aware of, or at least have in the process of having them completed before you're coming in. So you'll need to have a current ACAT assessment. You'll need to have completed or be in the process of completing an income and assets assessment. And this becomes particularly important when we start to talk about the different payment options that are available to you when you're coming into aged care and the fees and charges that are associated with that. You'll also need to register on the My Aged Care website. You'll need to have a current copy of your enduring power of attorney, and it's really important to make sure that this is current and up to date. Also, it's handy to have a copy of your Advanced Healthcare Directive. And this needs to be completed with your loved ones and your GP, so all of your wishes are clear, so we know what clear care to give you when time comes to be having that conversation. Having all of these documents on hand just makes the conversation go a little bit more smoothly when coming into care. You can find all of these documents on the Aged Care website. Your GP will also be able to help you to complete this paperwork or point you in the right direction to find this paperwork. Some post offices also have these documents that you can pick up at the post office as well. If you do have trouble completing these forms, talk to your GP, or if you have a provider, they can help you fill in these forms. Or if you've identified a facility that you would like to go to, I'm sure they would be able to, give you a hand over the phone on how to complete these. So who can come into aged care? To be able to come into aged care, you'll either be, having a discussion with your GP that, the time has come that you can't stay in your home any longer safely and you're not able to independently look after yourself at home anymore, and you're needing a little bit more care coming in or a little bit more security in your home. So these are some of the requirements that you will need to meet before making that decision to come into care. When you come into our residential aged care, especially into our Fassifern and Boonah facility, you will expect and you will receive 24-hour nursing care. We have on-site registered staff, dedicated personal care workers who will be there to assist you in your daily care needs and make you feel comfortable in your home and in your surroundings. We provide laundry service, catering service, we provide cleaning service. We have an on-site chef, a qualified chef who will prepare the meals for you. Our menus are designed and reviewed by a skilled team, so we know that they meet the nutritional needs of the residents. If you have any dietary requirements that you require, we can cater for. Majority of dietary requirements: vegetarian, vegan, texture modified meals, all sorts of fluid thicknesses so residents continue to enjoy the foods that they did at home. We also provide physiotherapy services. We provide allied health services such as an occupational therapist who we are very lucky to have on site and who has many years of experience in her field. And she'll be there to help maintain independence, mobility and strength. You saw before just through the videos that we have a beautiful new gym that is open for our residents to access. Our physiotherapist and our occupational therapist will, tailor make a nice gym program for you to meet whatever the care needs you are, or that whatever you would like to gain out of that gym, whether it's through strength, whether it's through function, whether it's just through range of motion, whether it's just coming and sitting in there and looking at the beautiful views over the mountain from the gym windows that we have there. So it is a beautiful area, just a bit of mind exercising and mindfulness, exercise your mind. We also have available services from our local GPs in our Boonah area, and we have pharmacy support from our local pharmacy as well. So we are very lucky to be part of a beautiful community that support us as a residential aged care facility, that we have these services available. We also have the support from the clinical team at the Boonah Hospital who are available to assist us for any clinical needs that we may need and recommendations that we do need. We also have available here palliative care, as Anne touched on previously. We can offer palliative care, bariatric care, transition care and dementia support care. And we like to tailor the care to the specific needs of the residents as they come in, because it's about you, it's your care and it's what's meaningful to you, and we will meet those needs as you come in. We also, to keep you occupied and keep you stimulated through the day, a wonderful lifestyle program. We are very lucky in the fact that we can now offer 7 days a week lifestyle program. So this is about activities of interest to you, what you want to do, how you want to do it, whether that might be watching movies, whether it might be gardening at our raised garden beds, or just walking through the beautiful garden area that we have here, or whether it's listening to the church services, which we can stream live now through our lounge areas. So if a resident is unable to go to church on the Sunday, we can still keep that option available for them, and they can watch the church service in the comfort of their own bedroom, which is very special. We have our bus. We have a bus that we can go downtown and do bus trips. So if a resident was in the community going to the hydrotherapy pool here, will we continue to go and have that happening and dropping the resident off and then picking them up, or spending a day downtown at the local cafe, going shopping at the shops or at the local supermarket. Anything is possible. We just have a conversation about that and try and make that happen safely, the best that we can, to maintain your lifestyle to what you have been doing and to continue that comfortably while you're here within our facility. So when you're coming into aged care, as we discussed earlier, there are some different payment options that you will have. So basically there's 3 different options that we mainly would be looking at. So the first one is the refundable deposit. So this is a lump sum payment that you would pay up front, or different payment options with that amount through your provider that would be discussed depending on each resident's financial needs. The second one is the accommodation payment option. So this is a bit like a daily rental fee that you would pay. And all of these fees are depending on what your income and assets are, which is why we talked about earlier, it's important to have that documentation ready, or at least be in the process of being ready to submit, because they can take a little bit to come back and a few weeks to come back. So to be able to have accurate conversations, it's important that we have this information, so we can see what that's going to look like for you and give you different options. But as we mentioned earlier, it is very important that you do seek financial and independent advice before making any decision, as our advice is just general advice that we would give. When you're coming into care, every resident pays the daily care fee. This is a fee that is set by the government. So the basic daily care fee currently is sitting around $52 and around 52 cents per day. The other fees that you may have to pay is the means tested care fee. This is a fee also that is set by the government and will also depend on what your income and assets may be. And this is going to differ for each person, and it can range anywhere from $0 through to $250 per day. Once again, all of these fees and charges will be discussed with you, and options will be discussed that can meet your financial years, so it's an affordable option for everybody coming into aged care. We offer a range of respite services as well at our centre. So if you have a carer at home who's looking after you and they're needing to go on a holiday, or you're just needing a break, we do offer respite care. So the respite fee for respite care is just the basic daily care fee times the amount of days or weeks that you are going to spend in the residential aged care facility. So what you get when you come into respite care is the same as what you're getting when you come into permanent care. So it's the 24-hour nursing care. It's the personal care workers is available to you at all times. It's meal options, it's cleaning, it's laundry, and it's participating in our lifestyle activities as well when you're here within our facility. Currently, our room prices for our facility, we have 2 kind of rooms here available at our new beautiful Boonah facility. We have our standard rooms that are $450,000, and we have our premium suites, which are $480,000. So they are absolutely all beautiful. And it's worthwhile coming down and having a look to see what we have on offer. If you do decide to have your journey with us here at Boonah Fassifern, you will be more than welcomed, and we are more than happy to have any kind of discussion that you would be wanting to have. Our contact details will be listed behind us on the slides through to follow, and I hope this has answered some of your questions coming into care, and if not, please feel free to answer some questions, and thank you for allowing us some time today.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much,
Thank
Karrin. I've just got up on the little slide, there's a thank you message there, but Karrin is more than happy to talk to anyone who's interested in moving in, but we've also got a customer relationship officer, Rick Pandit, who can answer any questions as well. Now, we're going to move on to some questions, I think. So let's just check the phone and we'll see what kind of questions our listeners at home want to see today. There we go. Okay. So, Jenny wants to know, if Mum wants to bring her favourite chair, can she bring her favourite chair?
Well, hi Jenny, and thank you for that question. Yes, Mum can bring her favourite chair. This is about making this the resident's home. So we do encourage all residents and potential residents to bring whatever furnishings from home that they may want to make them feel comfortable in their home. The rooms are adequately sized that it will house comfortably a nice recliner chair in the residents' rooms, or whatever furniture they would like to bring from home, whether that be doonas, picture frames, little trinkets, anything. Yeah.
I get the real feeling that how the resident wants to be cared for is how you're prepared to care for them.
Yes.
So one of the questions that we have here is that Mum likes to shower in the evening and not in the morning. Is that something that we can accommodate?
Yes, it is about resident preference on when they would like to have a shower, and it is coming into residential aged care. It's about your way and making it your home. So if you like to have a shower at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you can have a shower at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you like one at 5 o'clock in the morning, because that's what you do, you may have a shower at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're staffed 24 hours a day, so there will always be someone around for that assistance to help people with showers. Yeah.
Beautiful. John wants to know, if they want to take Mum and Dad for holidays, can they leave the facility and go away?
At the moment, due to the COVID pandemic that we're having at the moment, there are some restrictions on where residents can go and when they can go and where they can come back. So at the moment, we are a little bit restricted, but once those restrictions are all lifted and we're back to life as normal, yes, social leave is definitely an option for residents to be able to go out. Would you agree, Anne?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm just going to bring up on the screen here. We've got a group of people who are part of the community out here at Fassifern, so their phone numbers and titles are on the screen there, and you're welcome to reach out and ask any questions. But Rick and Karrin will be your biggest contact there. You've also got on our website, cofc.com.au/Boonah, you can take a virtual tour of the facility, and you can do that at your own pace, like click through the virtual tour or just press play and walk through the facility at your own pace. So is there anything else that anyone wanted to add before we leave our listeners today?
No, I don't think so. Just thank you for your time, and if, as was mentioned before, if you do have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. Don't be scared just to ring up and make general inquiries. We will try and assist you the best we can and definitely make time for you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Anne, and thank you, Karrin, for joining us. And we'll see everyone for our next webinar on the 24th of July. And don't forget to register. Ricky Millard from Boonah Law is joining us for that one. So see you later and have a lovely day.